Welcome again to Mystic Revolution, and we are in season 3, episode 30. Anyway, today we continue our conversation on conscious creation. But before we jump back in, let's take a moment to do a little meditation. So, as usual, I invite you to just take a moment, allow yourself to close your eyes, and drop your awareness out of your head space, down into your heart space. And just be with your heart just for a moment. And take a nice deep breath in and a big sigh out. And allow yourself to be connected with yourself. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, you can allow your beautiful heart to open and illuminate. And let's see if we can again drop a cord to the center of the earth, the heart of the earth. And let yourself be grounded. Let your heart connection and your love of Mama Earth, the planet Earth, be vibrant and alive in your body. Know you are a part of it, and allow the beautiful energy of the earth just to hold you. And you can even bring up some of that energy right up through your legs, through your feet into your legs. Allow it to come up into your heart and let it expand from your heart to the rest of your body. Almost like you're allowing every cell in your body to be embraced by this beautiful heart earth energy. And we can also remember that we are held by the sky, held by the divine, and you can tune into your own source energy above. Some may view it as a beautiful sun or some sort of celestial portal above you, and allow yourself to tune into the divine energy that is your birthright to be in, to call in. And so let's let a nice dose of that come down, almost like a beautiful cord of energy down through the top of your head, right into your heart, and infusing, I'm going to say, reminding your body, reminding your consciousness of the truth of who you are, the truth of your ability to access information and resources and energy that you may not have normally, or you may not have been taught you have access to, but you do. And just let it flow through your body. All right, let's take a nice deep breath in and out. And you can keep your eyes closed and keep kind of baking in that if you want, or you can open your eyes and join Wendy and us here having another fun conversation about creativity and conscious creation.
Yes.
And Wendy, you look like you're just going to burst with some beautiful information. So
I am.
please.
I'm really excited. So we're in this middle part of the season, and we've been talking about being in the flow. And last time we talked about being pregnant with change, which is such a fun metaphor. And today we're focusing on birthing our shift, both doing internal and external today. Oh, well,
Yeah.
external.
Yeah.
And just to contextualize, my picture is on from here. We'll be talking about the next future episodes on owning ourselves and our creativity and creations and playing our own game. So just to contextualize, we're still really in the baking stage, and then saying hello to the spiritual energy that helps us move forward, like we talked about last time. We're just going to talk about today basically keeping it simple and starting from the inside out, and what are some of the ways that we can play with this energy and behaviors to make things easy, to make things fun, to just start like kids playing blocks. Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal at first. We're learning new tricks. So I want to talk about some useful components of conscious creation and creative change today. And is there anything to say before I go on?
No, please, let's jump to it.
Okay. So from my perspective, yes, there's the make the things, do the art, create the wonderful life, change the relationships, whatever it is. But I like to see creativity in the big picture, that we're artists of our life.
Yeah.
And within that, we have a lot of art projects. We have
Yes.
a lot. And so that, I don't know, I just love it's a playful picture. It's going along picture. And I want to say also, I'm using this art thing, but I've never seen myself as an artist. I'm not a natural painter or poet or whatever. That's not come easy for me, but I'm all kinds of crazy about the art of life. Like, that's really juicy, I think. And
Yeah.
I really like that. I consider life as my greatest art,
Yes.
and it just makes it a very different thing than like life sucks and then you die. It's a very different place to stand.
Well, right. And it's a very different place to stand than these are the things that you're supposed to do in your life. And if by this age you should be doing this, and by this age you
Right,
should be doing that. And if you aren't doing that, then there's something wrong with you, right? And
right.
this sort of arbitrary, it is arbitrary. Someone just kind of came
Yeah,
up with these ideas, right?
yeah,
We get to create in every single moment
yeah,
what aligns with our true path, our true soul. And it doesn't have to align with these outside standards or ideas of what we're
yeah.
supposed to be doing, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's so important, and yeah, and it's the paintbrush gets to be in our hands.
Yes.
And I find it very helpful not to give it away to somebody else who has, it might be a parent, it might be some kind of religious leader. Like, why would I give away my paintbrush? Because, it's my life. So it's just a wonderful thing that we have the capacity to choose and create and become what what we want our life to be, what is our
Yes.
natural expression. So, like, again, I feel like we keep expanding the picture instead of like, Santa bring me more money or whatever, Santa bring me the right partner or whatever. Like, it's just so much more expanded than that too, and it's in my hands. I don't have to wait for the guy with the red bag or whatever.
Well, right. We don't have to wait for anything. We can just start, right? As this is what this
Yes,
conversation is.
just start.
And I know we started this series. I was talking about my experience as a vocalist, and I did a gig a few weeks ago or whenever where none of my equipment worked. I had a whole thing planned out.
Yes.
Pedals and loopers and all sorts of things, and none of it worked. And I could have easily said, "Oh, I can't create the thing that I was planning on."
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, we don't have to rehash the whole thing, but I got up and I just created something in the moment. I had no idea what was going to come out. I just started. There were a bunch of people
Yeah,
there
started.
waiting for something. And so I just started, and I had no idea what was going to come out, really. I mean, I had certainty about my ability. I had certainty about spirit, about my own spirit, and about the divine holding me. And that to me is like, it's applicable to anything. We can do that with anything. It doesn't have to be a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, just jump the heck in.
Let's jump in. And I'm not saying like do it beyond what's comfortable because we're all working through
Exactly.
our stuff. But as we
Right.
keep talking about, we're transitioning on the inside and making more space, where we're getting more freedom, we're having more empowerment, all these things we're talking about. And that makes like you're just standing up, like you came to the place where you could just stand up and just open your mouth and trust that probably something wonderful would happen. And of course it did, because
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a sense that it wouldn't be that I would feel comfortable with it, but I was also trusting, right? Whatever comes out of my mouth, it comes out of my mouth. If I croak, if I like, some sound comes out, it's okay. Right? Someone may get something from it. I don't know. Um,
yeah,
um, and it gets it's that stepping into the idea of trusting, and that it's okay just to jump in, that that gets out of the brain working part of it, that can really kill what you're talking about, right? That's
yeah,
why so many people don't start,
yeah,
because all the
yeah.
things, like
Yes. And we
all the
might
things.
fail, and it might not be according to my ideal images. And you know
Yeah.
what? I fail all the time, and nothing is according to my ideal images. And part of the process that we're talking about helps us to heal and overcome that it has to, and the pain, and the invalidation, the anti-sacred truth that like that I suck doesn't have to be covered with me doing it perfect, because I can't.
Right.
If I keep clearing that, it makes just more space and freedom. So I'm pulling from a lot of the past episodes and stuff. So I hope I'm speaking English to y'all. But um, yeah, so we start, and it could be small, it could be big, it could take off, it could fail. Can we just learn? Can we just be willing? And that makes space for all kinds of magic. It makes
Yeah.
space for miracles. It makes space for serendipity. It makes space for a beauty beyond my ideal images.
Yes. Something that beyond what we could ever come up with in
Right.
our brain working.
Yes. And so, that's what we do in the show. Like, we have notes about what we're going to do, but this is obviously not scripted. And we just come with these ideas and we dance, and it makes room for something special that we couldn't sit home and intellectualize and put on paper and do.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
beautiful. And that's why I like doing these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And also in our teaching and meditations, like we're dancing with spirit and with the group, and it just makes all kinds of space for the sacred to get embodied into what we're doing.
Yeah. And obviously sometimes this feels challenging. And the way I think about it is, and I've used this language before, but you get to unhook yourself from the structures, from the ideas, from the standards, from the
Yes.
perfect pictures of things. Totally unhook from that
Mm-hmm.
and allow yourself to get inspiration from the inside out, from the God of your heart, from divine source, from in that as it comes through your own heart, right? Not all these tendrils out to other people and other ideas and expectations.
And again, like we were talking to last time, rest, let the cart rest, let our body striving rest, and let the wind of spirit blow out in front of us a
Yes.
little bit. And it can be extraordinary. Yeah. So this is what we're playing with. And if we really choose to invite new, the idea is, can we just start now? Now,
Mhm.
right? Like, not waiting for Monday or the beginning of next month or the beginning of next year. Like, Oh, I'll try to start that new project,
Yes.
when I finally pay off my mortgage or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, can we, it doesn't mean it has to take over our lives, but can we just put something daily in? Can we, or weekly in? Like, we're on our 30th show. It's just like, and we're busy. Everyone involved with this is busy, but
Yes.
like, we just, we slot it in and it happens. And then next thing you know, we're on our 30th show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just talking when we started about when we started, it wasn't, we weren't living up to our ideal images. And um,
And then somewhere along the way, it just was like,
whatever. It's
who
just
the
that.
who the F cares? I actually don't have any images about it.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is what it is. And
Yeah.
we are allowing that, like in the present moment, spontaneous, just like
Mhm,
letting it flow, being in the flow, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we start, I just have a couple little things that I like to put, and these are more physical things, little things that
Yeah.
help me. Um, and one is to stay focused to know what the target is.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
because I'm a big scattershot person and like nothing gets done, I'll learn this, do that, do, and like that doesn't, regarding the show, like I just have to show up with stuff and talk and like it gets done. But without having a date on the calendar and without needing to show up like this, like I'm just blah, 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 like there's no focus. And so having a focus and having maybe something on the calendar or some structures that help us to go in the direction that we want, I find is to be very helpful.
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree. I think structure is very helpful. And um, because of the nature of what we're doing, and because I have great people sort of poking at me and reminding that focus and being accountable to yourself and to others, I mean, that really is helpful. It goes back to what you were talking about in a previous season about integrity and walking your talk,
Mhm.
right? Because if I am really working with the divine and the divine is leading me this way, and it really aligns with the heart, my like the song of my heart, if you will, and then I get
Yes,
scattered.
it's so easy.
It's so easy. But then remembering like what it is that I'm doing. I mean, some might call it purpose, or some might call it um, it's just this creative channel that I am on in this, right? It's easy to turn back to and find the focus, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it helps to have structures, people, things on the calendar. It helps to have, like a little checklist of what is important to me or whatever, relative to my values, not like big shoulds, because I don't respond well to that. And I don't respond honestly, to big lists of what I should do either. Like I make these lists and then I go about ignoring them and resisting them immediately, honestly. Um, but one thing at a time, one focus change at a time,
Yeah.
bringing in something else. Like at the beginning of the year, I went from walking on the beach and swimming in the pool once a day in the middle of the day, and then I've been playing with doing it morning and evening before and after work. And and here's another, so like just one shift, right? Like, and that changes. It's so weird because I change that, and then when I go to bed changes, and how I eat changes, and what I get done at work everything starts changing from that one change. I just want to say.
Yeah.
And the other thing to say is like to hold it lightly, because there's ways in which that I can make a shift and hold it, and that's great. And there's just there's because of whatever, because I'm not well, because I have too much on my plate or whatever, there's times I can't hold it. And it's just important to honor that.
Yeah. I understand. I think That's really good. And one of the things that is hard in this is if you have these ideas about creating and starting, but say you've got the idea of we've talked about writing a book or creating a piece of art, but in this moment, right, you've got a full-time job or you've got a bunch of
Mhm.
kids to take care of, or there's
Right.
all these things that get in the way or you perceive get in the way of these sort of heart song or soul projects, right?
Yes.
And with what you're talking about is that, even if you go and sing in the shower for 5 minutes, like, that's something, and that
Yes.
starts moving the energy, right?
Yes.
That starts moving the energy, and then maybe you, I don't know, do something crazy like stay in the shower for 7 minutes and sing, right? But at the idea, right? Because I'll just speak for myself. There have been times in my past when I was so rigid and so my life was so dictated by outside things
Mhm.
that I couldn't allow myself the freedom to do little things like that. Or I mean, to start a project. But when you're thinking about these sort of bite-sized
Yeah.
starting points, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say that it's there's the external things, right? There's the kids and the money and the time and the energy and the work and the partner and the family and it goes on and on.
Yeah.
So it can be time, it can be energy, but it can also be my own the internal limits.
Absolutely.
And like I was very uncomfortable dancing. Now I dance all the time, um, sing all the time, but I was very, very uncomfortable singing and dancing, and even by myself.
Mhm.
And then you certainly in front of anyone. And so the first step that I did about this is I go in the dark because I in the dark in the basement where no one could see, and I dance a little. Seriously, I mean that like I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then from there, okay, can I dance in the basement with the lights on? Can I dance? Like I just kept pushing that edge a little bit. And then what really helped me, I have to say, is contra dancing, which is a structured dance in which we can just do the structure or we can learn. Then I just did the structure. I could walk, move through the structure of this dance.
Mhm.
And then eventually I could dance in the dance.
Mhm.
And then I could eventually just dance. But
Mhm.
it took me years
Mhm.
I didn't have tools at the time, but it's just like, can we just start
Yeah.
and push the edge a little bit?
And how sad it would be if you'd never just started. You'd never just gone in the basement and danced in the dark by yourself. All the joy and all the
Mhm.
connections you've made through dancing now. I mean,
Right.
right?
Oh yeah.
Even when you weren't doing it like in the way that you are now, right? Like it's still there was all this other stuff that I'm sure it brought into your life.
Yeah. I wouldn't have the life I have now without dancing, like,
Yeah.
or the partner, or the, you know,
Right?
what happened since then is I've dealt with a lot of illness and breaking, and so I can't dance the way that I used to, but I still dance,
Yeah.
right? Like I can't dance the way I used to in at all. But Michael used to call me seagrass. There was a long time where all I could do was like stand really solid with my legs and move my top of my body. He used to call me seagrass. And now now I've healed enough to be able to like be more than seagrass,
Right.
right? But like, can we do what we can do? I think that's the theme that we're talking about here. Can we do what we can do and not force ourselves to do what we can't do and let the balloon expand? We blow into the balloon and it's to a certain point, and if we push more, it'll break, but we let it sit. This is a general rule with energy too. And we let it sit, and then we can blow more into it.
Yeah.
Can we move forward without popping?
Yeah.
All
Can
right,
we move
so there's more,
forward?
but I think it's break time.
So we'll take a little bit of a break and we will come back.
Thank you, We Are Storkly, for your conscious human apparel. Shop online at wearehistorically.com.
Hey friends, Susana and I want to remind you that we offer a Mystic Revolution meditation. It's the first Tuesdays at 4:30 Pacific. Please come as our guest. You can see our website for the link. And thank you for playing with us.
Raise your vibration and energize your life with specialized Fibonacci tuning forks that deepen meditations and empower self-healing. Get your vibrational sound tools for personal enhancement at energybodytuners.com.
All right. Well, welcome back. We are continuing our conversation about birthing the shift in conscious creation. And Wendy, I know you had a few more things to say.
Yeah, thanks. This is a fun conversation.
I'm doing this seagrass wave over here. That's cute.
It really gives a good illustration of how my honey relates to me, right? It's just,
real.
It's real and funny.
Yeah.
Not hiding. So we've talked all about this, but there's a couple of things I want to say about creating from the inside out in the middle of this.
Please.
And one is like setting the vibe, and we've talked about that, but like I just want to say it from a different perspective. We've talked about like letting the spiritual vibration in along with whatever the emotional condition, the body communication is. But for the new thing, can we see it? Can we taste it? The new dance we're doing, the new song we're singing, the new, can we ring the bell? Can we ring the bell and let that vibration ring through us, through our life? And even if we don't have time or energy or we're up against our limit, we can ring the bell and be that vibration that we want to be in. We can ring the bell, sing our song, dance our dance inside, taste our vision.
Yes.
Fire our desire,
Yes.
And it really helps to have this is where I'm going, maybe like I like the picture of I said it last time, I think, punching through the board. It's a karate picture that if I just try to break the board, I just hurt my hand. I've actually had this experience more than once. If I just try to break the board, nothing happens except for owie on my hand. But if I'm going past the board just breaks. It's completely wild. Have you had that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's holding the energy different. It's the focus, the perspective and the idea of what's happening is different than I've got to punch through this board. It's a very different than I'm moving through. Anyway, please continue.
And it's so limited. It's just like, I don't care enough if I work out before work to get my ass out of bed. Like, I just don't care. But I want to dance more. I want to shift my vibration so that I can have a more delicious in the body day. Like, that's much more than just walking and swimming before work.
Yeah.
It's like, it's who I want to be and how I want to be and what I want to live. And that gets me out of bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also seeing that far thing, for it's big things or small things, it helps to get us through the rough times. It's too hard today. Okay, well, tomorrow. Or in some of the training that we do, some of the practices that we do, sometimes it's just like, this is really hard. This is really confronting. I don't want to do this. I don't want to keep practicing. I don't want to keep training. But I want to heal myself. I want to become who I am. Well, okay, I'll just keep going.
Well, and I think that's an important point to make, because sometimes we think, well, I have to be disciplined. I have to do this every single day, regardless of how I feel. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's actually good to make yourself do a thing. But sometimes, right, and this goes back to the idea of the journey. Part of the soul journey is having in mind these things, these earthbound things that we want to do and experience and whatnot. But part of the journey is being in that moment and really, really discerning, right? Well, what is my soul? What does my heart and soul and my body need right now? Does it
Yeah.
need to stop and rest? Do
Yeah.
I need to actually just like go space out for a while?
Yes.
Do I need to, make myself get in the pool and swim 10 laps because that actually is going to make me feel better? And
Yeah.
but breaking out of um this rigidness, and I'll speak to myself as a formerly very rigid person, breaking out of that maybe could work on being a little bit more rigid. I'm just going to be honest right now, but breaking free from that um, puts you in the driver's seat. And going back to the idea, right? You're driver's seat, you're the captain of the ship. You are not being motivated by these outside ideas of what one should be doing or what it looks
Right.
like, or what people, your friends or your family or social media, whatever, blah blah blah, all of that. It's how you are.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is it? What helps you most fulfill the fullness of full on you, like truthfully and authentically? If it's being super disciplined and like aggressive with yourself, if that's it, that's awesome. But it might not be that.
Mhm.
And as someone who used to I mean, I think I've talked about this before, but I had a terrible eating disorder. I was like completely obsessive, compulsive, rigid exerciser every day. That was not helping either my body.
Yeah.
It was not fulfilling actually anything that my soul really needed.
Yeah.
But it looked good, right?
Right.
Wow, she runs every day. She does this thing
Yeah.
every day. Wow, wow. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's great if you want to kill yourself.
Right. Right. And besides, there's no chance for rebuilding the muscles. There's no, I mean, it's just
No,
really hard on the body.
really, really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And the commitment, it comes in the middle. It comes in balance. Like if I am sailing to the Bahamas and a hurricane's coming, like it's not do or die time. It's,
No.
find a safe place to be so I can sail another day.
Yeah.
It's like it's where we apply the heroics is really important, and every day is probably a bad idea.
Well, let's just say the extreme, extreme heroics. I mean, gosh, right?
Right. No
All
need to
the
go through the hurricane.
No, no, you don't need to go through the hurricane.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll come to a close. We've talked about creating structure, and there's just so many structures. I love spreadsheets. I've used calendars. I've used checklists. I've used stuff on the refrigerator. It just really it motivates me when to try to get a cadence, to add a new habit. It helps me to have some kind of daily reminder. So I have put stickies on the bathroom mirror. Just like to keep me learning a new habit. That's
Mhm.
all. And then eventually it's just happening. And then also creating the sport, other people, the
Yes.
class or other people to study with or other people to play with or other people to walk with or whatever it is, it helps me stay enrolled.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 1000%.
Okay.
Um, well, I think we're done with this episode. We
Yeah.
so appreciate your being here, and please feel free to, send us comments or questions or add to the conversation below in the video below. We're so interested in your thoughts and feelings about these things in your own experiences. And with that, we'll just do a little meditation out. So go ahead and just take a nice deep breath in and out, and close your eyes and find that space, that grounded, centered space. There you are. Your own heart connected to the heart of the earth, your own heart connected to the heart of the sky. and own the fact that you are a sovereign being. You are you, and there is no one else like you in the world. And you get to hold your own paintbrush. You get to create what you want. And you can take some of the things that Wendy and I talk about here with you if you want, and you can leave the rest behind. And in the same way, you can do that with everything else in your life and all the other people in your life. You get to choose that which best serves your own highest and best good and highest and best good of those that you love and care around you. And we empower ourselves that way. I just see, and I always feel like the ripple effect is absolutely immense. Immense, and touches people in ways we can't even imagine. All right. So, breath in and out, and thank you again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Mystic Revolution.
Thanks so much for playing with us. Please support Mystic Revolution by liking and sharing our show.
And sign up to get notified when new content is available. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Another creative art production by Retro Earth Studio.
Join us for our monthly Mystic Meditation on the first Tuesday of the month at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time.
Click on the link in the description to get more information and join the Mystic Revolution.
We look forward to seeing you then.